Hand-passing ceremony. The third Sunday of June is the Father's Day in USA. On June 14th, 2014, while I was studying about this special festival, one thing happened long ago kept on knocking at my heart. I was 13 that year. My father thought it would be a great idea if I could master counting with abacus. In that sense, I could be involved in the final counts of the group and be able to support myself immediately. He then faltered to find a well-matched teacher to teach me counting with abacus. I seemed to be in a favorable position and already knew the drill of addition, subtraction, and multiplication with ease. However, division was another story. Yes, I had a hard time learning it. My father was anxiously worried about it and began to accelerate his search. He asked almost whoever happened to come to his way. Far from being disappointed, he heard that there was an expert in our village. That expert was one Fu Jiao, who served as the chief assistant in charge of finance and grain in our district, which is equivalent to the financial director of the township government. My father was euphoric and desperate to take me to be formally apprenticed to Mr. Jiao. We went out with large snowflakes, walking for more than 10 miles. To my intense surprise, this place was not full of life at all. The only sign of life seemed to be smoke coming out of the houses. Continued with our search for the house was the 3 houses around. And finally, we found his house. The first thing I felt was an atmosphere of spring festival when I stepped inside. Rice cake and steam buns light on the oven preparing for the festival. Steam flowed around us and led us to his room. An old man whose appearance was by no means imposing sat on the heatable brick bed. My father said, "He is your teacher." Oh, I eventually saw the well-known Wan Fu Jiao. It was nippy in his house. Mr. Jiao sat on the heatable brick bed with quilt wrapped firmly, coughing seriously. It was easy to tell that he suffered from asthma. Coughing was an eccentric sound, and a blue wound neck appeared every time he coughed. To be honest, I was rather frightened. My father explained our intention for this visit. Mr. Jiao straightly put it, "I can teach your kid, but I need something in return. You will have to chop firewood for me for 9 days. As you can see, there's no one in my family can do it, So we can call it an exchange of deal." My dad gladly accepted without hesitation. During the 9 days of the dead of winter, my father took me to Mr. Jiao's home every morning and headed to chop wood along up the hill. The mnemonic of division was called rules for doing division with a 1-digit divisor on the abacus. Mr. Jiao took an abacus counting book from his box. He taught me about 1 rule every day so that I could learn the 9 rules in 9 days. Time passed by. I mastered the rules all and successfully ended the study. So did my father's work. Mr. Jiao thought I was smart and gave me that book as a gift. We exuberantly went back home that day. The second day was the New Year's Eve, so we began to prepare for it. In the early morning, my father woke up so we can paste the couplet together. Accidentally, I noticed that his hands were red and swollen, making the couplet blood-stained. Naive as I was, I asked my father, "Dad, what happened to your hands?" "Just plain the cold weather, nothing really serious," he answered with a smile. I quickly turned to look at my hands, showing up with on purpose. You really can't withstand the cold weather. My hands are perfectly fine. He kindly touched my hands, kissing them gently, and said, my son's hands are for doing, the exquisite work. Look at them. They are not only dexterous, but can also withstand the cold winter. Go ahead and play the double voice crackers. Having heard this compliment, I went out to play fireworks without even looking back. What left with my father was merely the sound of fireworks. Bang, bang, bang. The sound lingered at the bottom of Xishan Mountain, accompanied by the cheering of us. In 2013, I went back to Heyingzi to celebrate the Dragon Boat Festival, passing the newly built road of Reshui and the mountain my father cut woods. There were still only 2 or 3 people living up there. Quite like before, there were only 3 to 4 families living up there. Things were still there, but people had changed. However, I suddenly reflected on the past. The scene of apprenticeship unfolded before my eyes. My father's blood-stained hands with callus came into my sight. With tear-filled, blurry eyes, I realized that I am the father of my own son and truly realized the story behind my dad's hands. It was him who used his hands to exchange for the opportunities for me to learn. My hand was perfectly fine because of his hard work. However, it was found too late already when I got to understand it. He has passed away for 15 years. I will never, ever have the chance to make it up for him. Never. Dad, I love you and I miss you. Thank you.